Today's review is sponsored by Discount Vasectomies. Get your first operation half off.
Watch it, Alan. I'm shooting.
Gutterballs. We're diving into some low-budget sleaze today, and it's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride, so brace yourself. Gutterballs was directed by the late Ryan Nichols. He made his career doing makeup effects for various movies and TV shows, but he was also a no-budget horror director. He was known for extreme horror. His films were sleazy, violent, and left nothing to the imagination. He didn't want to do things off-camera. Whatever messed up shit he could think of, you would see it on the screen. I like subtle horror, but I also like extreme horror, and I respect that Ryan Nichols went over the line with his movies. Sadly, he passed away back in 2019 at age 48. Rest in peace, Mr. Nichols. Gutterballs is probably Ryan Nichols' most well-known movie. As you would guess, it's a slasher movie that takes place in a bowling alley. But it's an extreme horror movie, so there's some fucked up stuff here. This is a slasher movie mixed with a rape revenge movie. The plot involves two rival bowling teams. After a night of bowling, a young woman is brutally raped by the rival team. It's a hard scene to watch. The next night, the two teams meet up again at the bowling alley for another match. The victim acts like nothing happened, and, as you would expect, there's a killer who starts killing people off one by one. Not just the rapists, but everybody. There's a lot that I can't show because, dear God, this movie does not hold back. There is so much nudity in this flick, and a lot of the kills involve the nudity. The kills are the biggest standout of the movie. Holy shit, these kills are so gnarly. Most of the deaths are bowling related because this is a bowling slasher movie. And that's the biggest praise I can give the flick. It takes advantage of its idea. This is a bowling slasher movie, so bowling is a big part of the kills. As I said, Ryan Nichols went all out with the extreme material. You see naked people in all their floppy glory. You see tits, you see clits, you see ass, you see dicks. There is no holding back. There's one death by way of 69, and you see genitals in faces. Then there's the one scene where a penis is turned into a vagina. But not all the kills are sexual in nature, most of them are just bloody as hell. The practical effects are great. I love to praise low-budget to no-budget horror movies that are able to work with what they have. Gutterballs had a budget of $250,000. Just to put things into perspective, The Toxic Avenger, another great low-budget horror movie, had a budget of $475,000. That's why I like to praise low to no-budget films. These filmmakers are able to make these movies without the money or the resources of bigger budget movies.
No, Kelly, there you go, fucking stay!
We don't just get simple stabbings. There's a good mixture in the kills. This is one of the most graphic slasher movies. If you're a fan of Terrifier, the kills in Gutterballs are even more grotesque. Let's quickly talk about the catalyst for all this mayhem. This is a rape revenge style slasher movie, and the scene is very hard to watch.
Fucking promotion now! Shut up! Fuck up!
I've said before that when it comes to rape in movies, there's a right way to handle it, there's a wrong way to handle it, and then you have the movies that do it for shock value, which can go either way. Gutterballs is a movie that uses sexual assault for shock value. But in this case, it has an effect on the story. And that's where I stand. If you're going to use this for shock value, at least have it be relevant to the story. Don't just throw it in there for the sake of throwing it in there. Have it have a purpose in the story. As hard as this scene is to watch, it does set everything in motion. Okay, now let's move on. Then we have the killer of our slasher movie, BBK.
Hey guys, check this out.
When it comes to good slasher movie villains, the two things that matter the most are the kills and their fashion sense. Every killer needs a good design. They need those parts that help them stand out amongst other killers. Those little elements in their design that make them appealing to the audience. Jason Voorhees has his machete and his hockey mask. Freddy Krueger has his glove, his hat, and his sweater. Michael Myers has his knife and his white mask. BBK has bowling pin-based weapons and a bowling ball bag for a mask.
You fucking do this? You cut my friend's fucking head off? Fucking cocksucker.
Gutterballs was made as a parody to slasher movies, so the killer does have a funny look. But again, I like how this movie sticks with the bowling theme. Bowling-based killer, bowling-based kills.
Fuck.
And now we come to the things that made this movie fall apart a little bit for me. I want to make it clear, Gutterballs is not a bad movie, but I do have some issues with it. The flick is handled as a whodunit style movie. Who's the killer supposed to be? But it's also a rape revenge film, and it's pretty obvious who's involved.
You think sorry will get you off so easy? You got off last night, fuck. Tonight's my turn.
At first things are so obvious you think they're going into red herring territory, but nope, it's just that obvious. That does not ruin the movie. It's the dialogue that really takes things down a notch for me. Now, I want to make it clear before I get into this, I understand that this is my issue, and other horror fans might be able to get past these complaints. They just bug me. First issue is the cursing. Now, I have no problem with swearing, in movies or in real life. I've used George Carlin's 7 words you can't say on TV numerous times. Piss, shit, cunt, fuck, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits. I used to work with fishermen. Fuck was a common adjective. But Gutterballs is one of those movies where they say fuck so much. They curse in almost every sentence.
Fucking motherfucking cocksucking foot.
You can win. You gotta show him.
Get the fuck off me. Fuck sake. Shut your fucking mouth.
I'm fine with cursing, but when every fucking sentence has fucking fuck in every fucking one of fucking them, it gets fucking annoying after a fucking while. If you just cursed less, you could get to the point.
Well, why don't you get back there and fix that fucking thing?
Me? Why don't you go back there and do it yourself, you lazy motherfucker? I'm tired of doing shit
this
for
fucking
you.
place all
Get
fucking
that old
day.
man on here to do it for you then, bitch. Hey! Shut the fuck up. The old man isn't fucking back there. I just looked.
We're dealing with characters that aren't very likable, and I'm not just talking about the rapist, I mean, nobody likes them, but I'm talking about all the characters, and that's mostly because of the dialogue. Also, there are many moments where people yell their dialogue. It's like the movie is shouting at you.
You're at risk of getting this fucking cut shoved up your wise asshole, man. If it's not there in a fucking hour. You understand what I'm saying? Fuck's sakes.
And for me, that gets grating after a while. It's the same reason why Rob Zombie movies get on my nerves at times. Characters constantly yelling at you, and after a while you're just like, okay, back off. It's like being the only sober person at a party. Everyone's drinking, they think they're funny, but they're just shouting constantly, and you're like, dear God, I need a drink, but I gotta drive these people home.
Do you boys want anything?
Yeah, I do. Big, fat, wet pussy.
Yeah, same here.
Only not big and fat.
I want to make it clear, though, I have a lot of respect for this movie. The practical effects are fantastic, it took full advantage of its idea, it doesn't have that much padding in it, and I respect that Ryan Nicholson made these movies that went over the line and made these rather disturbing films. I respect people who make movies with little to no budget. There are just some things that prevent me from loving this movie, but I do recommend this one, but only for people who like extreme horror movies. If you don't like that kind of stuff, you're not gonna like this movie. And with that, let's get to the Grindhouse rankings. We've got a body count of 13. The kills consist of, but are not limited to, death by 69, bowling pin shoved down throat, head crushed by bowling balls, and face torn apart by bowling ball polisher. It reaches the slasher requirements with a high body count, creative kills, a lot of sex, and an interesting killer. The nudity is oh so high. We see fully nude women and men, plus there's nudity involved in some of the kills. This is a rather rough movie. We do have to deal with a graphic rape scene and some brutal kills. Dick turned into vagina, that's all I gotta say. The dialogue does drag the movie down a little, mostly because of the constant yelling. And I do like BBK as a killer. I just wish his identity wasn't so predictable. I'm giving this a 3.2 out of 5. I have problems with this movie, but I do think it's worth watching. But only if you like more graphic, disturbing horror. As always, I want to thank everyone for watching and supporting my channel. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think is the most creative kill in a slasher movie. This is the Maniac, here to remind you that the Grindhouse will never die. Touchdown! Wait.